Alright. Okay, so we're gonna go into game number 2 in just a moment. Hopefully you guys are all ready. No, I am not in a clan or a team at the moment. I will be playing on behalf, well, on behalf of? I don't know if it's on behalf of or whatever, but I'll be playing with the lovely mGG people for the C Clan League. Coming up, I'll be one of the Platinum Terran players in there. I'm just going to play on my second account, the Terran account there, Fairy Dust, which is the most manly name of any sort of player in StarCraft. Like, try and think of a more manly name than Fairy Dust. I challenge you, chat people. Yeah. I actually have a pink shirt, Stokes. I can put one on. Oh, I have to leave the map. Yeah, not really actually in a clan or a team at the moment, just because there's a few reasons. I just sort of rather fly solo just at the moment. But yeah. Giggle Fairy. Fairy Duck, I should go with that. Alright, let's do this. We're going to have a next player up. It is going to be a Zerg player. He's going to be facing off against the return of Thoth, of course, in that first game, coming through with those mighty Thors, and bashing his way through Ghosty after an unfortunate, slight mishap. I still, like, I know you guys were sort of talking about it in the chat, I still think it was just that one small error. Otherwise, Ghosty had played a really nicely done game from there. So, but we'll see what happens here in game number 2. Of course, it is a best of 9, means we need to go to 5 games for a victory for a particular team. At the moment, sitting at mGG 1 to QED's 0. So we'll jump into this one right about now. Okay. Who's excited? Who's excited to see Thoth again? And who is excited to see a player with one of the cutest little names I've ever seen? Our Zerg player there, you can see him on the load screen. Alright, so hang on. Post in the chat, because I'm curious about the support for the two teams here. Post in the chat, number 1, if you're supporting mGG. Post in the chat, number 2, if you're supporting QED. And while you guys do that, and while the stream catches up with me, at the top right-hand side as our red Protoss player, he is a random, so technically he's not really a Protoss, it is mGG's Thoth. Look at that crazy GSL style introduction there from me. You guys should be paying for this shit. And down the bottom left-hand side, our blue Zerg player, playing on a map. Whoa, my voice broke there. That's a little bit scary. Our blue Zerg player playing on one of the very, little bit more of a favorited map for Zerg players from what I understand. It is Cheesy For You, of course, playing for QED. Alrighty, so let's talk shop about Daybreak. Whoa, interesting. Actually, first up, Thoth. Hello there, boys. We've got a pylon at the front door. He's not actually going to be placing it on the low ground. Normally, you know, of course, you will see players do the standard sort of, you know, chuck your pylon here, forge here, gateway here. Cyber will then either go here or here, sort of depends on how you want to do it. You can then put another pylon there or another pylon here, blah, blah, blah. You all know what that looks like. But Thoth's going to go a little bit differently here. Puts his gateway down at the front door. Just actually going to go for a different style. He's just going to wall off the front door here. And as we can see, Cheesy Foyu, whether he meant it or not, I'm not sure, will go for that 15 spawning pool just across to the side here. And as we can see, standard sorts of things, relatively speaking, here from Thoth. He's just going to block off that natural hatch. And yeah, well, I'm really interested to see how this goes. It's not too often that players like to do an in-base, sort of a one-base opening for Protoss. I do in Heart of the Swarm, just because you kind of can do it with the Mothership core, and I like to use a little DT opening that I've been playing around with off one base. It's a little bit like a DT expand. But anyway, as I said, interested to see how Thoth plays around with this. He does have his gas up, doesn't actually have any probes inside the gas, which is a little bit worrying at the moment, but he will pretty much finish off that wall off here. Just a small little space here for units to get through. They can get through just sort of that side there. So, you know, he'll probably block that off with the Zealot, which is very standard. So Thoth, meanwhile, he's blocked off the hatchery from being constructed here by Cheesy Foyu. He's sitting up there at 400 minerals now, so he's sort of really, his economy is a little bit messed up from where it should have been. We'll keep an eye on him, because normally most players would have actually just said, you know what, screw you, I hate you. You've put a pylon down at my natural, so what I'm going to do is go up here and take the third base instead. But he's not doing that, so I'm a little bit curious about what's going on. He's just sort of, okay, maybe he was just waiting for those lings to come out, but either way, Thoth with something different. I do like to see this. It's pretty cool to see that from him. Looks as if he will be expanding behind all of this anyway. I don't think it's an expandiwar. Oh, well, I suppose technically it's the expandiwar, because he's sort of he's expanding off the one gate and the cyber, but it's a little bit different just because you know, normally you do it a little bit more efficiently because you have the pylon actually being built here, so it sort of saves time when your probes are returning to the mineral patches and that kind of thing. But either way, gets the Nexus down, that gets started, and as we can see, of course, Cheesy Foyu has started off his hatchery, got that almost halfway done, and we'll probably see, like I would expect this to sort of transition into a normal sort of game from this point. Interesting to see that Cheesy has gotten rid of that's where the probes, where the drones go, by the way. They go up here, not down here. No, they go up here. But he has taken his drones off the gas there, so it looks as if he will be going for a quick expansion as well. Perhaps a little bit risky after seeing your opponent go for a cyber-based opening, but I mean, you know, I think he did. Did he see that the Nexus is going down? Yeah, he has. He has seen that the Nexus is there, so I suppose it's not too bad in the end. But yeah, you know, this has sort of turned into, it started off a little bit odd, but now it's turned into a standard sort of game. We've got 2 extra gates now going up for Thoth. He's also got the robotics facility just on the way, about a third of the way done. And, you know, I would not be surprised if we see him grab out a couple more sentries and maybe just sort of prepare himself for a possible expansion with the Immortals and the Sentries here. He's not sitting on a huge bank of gas right now. That's the only sort of limiting factor, I suppose. In fact, we may sort of change the prediction from that sort of perspective in the fact that he has not taken his second gas yet. There's no sign of any sort of gas being taken down here at the natural either, so it looks as if he will be continuing on with this sort of slightly unorthodox play. Going to get an observer route first as well. I think he's just playing extremely standard. Maybe he saw the name, Cheesy Foyu, and he thought, oh god, this guy's going to cheese me. You know, perhaps that's it. But he does get a good scout off, sees that the third hatchery has been placed by Cheesy. Cheesy, meanwhile, is still not getting gas at the moment. He's just getting his drone count up, currently sitting at 33 drones, looking at like he's just going to continue to pump that up. Got 13 more drones about to hatch. God, Zerg is fun. And he'll be able to just sort of sit there at a nice total. Looks as if he's going to have a quick look through inside the natural. Gets down the centric. Very nice little grab by him. Did lose quite a few of those lings, but I mean, if you can take down that sort of that sentry count, so you limit any pushing potential right at the start of the game, that could really, really help. So Thoth is still not taking his second or third or even fourth gas, which is a little bit surprising at this point. Sort of would have expected him to do something by that point. by this point, and you know, we're still waiting to see exactly what he's up to here. It's a little bit of a, as I said, an unorthodox style. So we'll keep an eye on what Thoth is up to. There's the gases, 3-4, all the way here. And Cheesy has also gotten his gas started, still waiting to actually get his lair started. Needs a little bit more gas to get that on the way. Now getting double evo chambers down, going to make sure those upgrades are coming out quick smart. Need to get those roaches prepared for the encroaching approach of the roach. And it looks as if Thoth is going to be ready for that as well. Immortal on the way. It looks like the Overseer is just going to have a quick look through. Overlord, sorry. Is going to have a quick look through. Find out if he can see what his opponent is up to. Because at the moment, we're still yet to sort of see what Chase is up to. Chase, what are you up to, man? Talk about it. Talk about what you're up to right now. But there is a little bit of a supply block going on right now. But the Forges. Double Forges. Wow. I want to say he's a random player, so, you know, perhaps this might not be his best race, but, you know, this could be something that, you know, someone's just pulling out of nowhere. So he is going to sort of go for a little bit of a little odd little style here. We've got the cannon at the front, a couple of zealots there as well. We'll need to block that off, does a good job of that, and as we can see, these lings will have to retreat for the time being. So Thoth is majorly supply blocked right now. We're still waiting for him to fix that up. A couple of pylons on the way down the back, and he's about to get that all fixed up. But as we can see, it looks like there is going to be a very odd sort of timed gateway push here. If that actually comes out, he's got a total of 5 gates at the moment. I'm not even sure if this is going to be a push. But, you know, let's look at it from the sort of standard perspective, the standard model of a PvZ. Does he have sentries? No, he doesn't. He needs to get some sentries out if he wants to go for an expand. Does he have immortals out? No, he doesn't have immortals out either. So he can't really go for a push because his opponent, Cheesy Foyu, has just cranked out a whole bunch of roaches. And he's got 17, in fact, with another 5 on the way. And speedlings are also being produced. So we've got to be very, very careful with how Thoth approaches this. I don't think he sort of realized sort of this very precarious position he's in. And in fact, Thoth is just going to run straight in. Zealots are at the back, unfortunately not tanking a single thing. And it looks like the Lings are going to take down those Stalkers quick smart. Roach is now just bulldogging their way right in front here. Cheesy now doing a great job trying to target down that Immortal. He's still stuck at the back. 10 kills for him, not too bad at all. Zealots now warping in, but they're not going to get anything done. The Roaches have piled their way through here and have just annihilated every single thing here. And Thoth is just still trying to go after those upgrades at the moment. 2-2 is on the way for him. So he will have some very sexy, some very, you know, suave little upgrades there. But the unfortunate thing for him, his opponent's up to 4 hatches. He's got extra gases now going down at the 3rd base. He's got a total of 62 drones right now, almost at that very awesome sweet spot for a Zerg player. And it looks like he's going to get started with these roaches and the Lings, making sure that his opponent cannot take a 3rd. In fact, even a drone is thrown in here. Perhaps Cheesy is going to throw down a mana hatchery sometime soon. He's on the ball, though, with those injects. Look at that. Very nicely done by him. And here it comes. There are the roaches. They're just going to waltz right up. In fact, waltz right in. Cannon goes down quick smart. Forges may be next on the menu, but it looks like they will be left alone for the time being. Or will they? Microing through those Lings, and it looks like all of these units are going to be cut down here. Cheesy Foyu is just way too prepared for everything that Thoth was trying to do. And unfortunately, Thoth, with no real harassment at the start of the game, is not going to be able to take this one. While he did a brilliant job in that previous game of just taking advantage of his opponent's slight error in the play there from Ghosty, he actually has just not been able to do a single thing here. I would hesitate to say perhaps not his best race after that performance as Terran. He did a little bit better as Terran, but either way, unfortunately, it looks like Thoth is going to go down here. A couple of Artosis pylons powering just about everything here. All of that production facility area for Thoth, and it looks like the Lings have now come through. We got backup roaches on the way. 4th hatchery going down, or 5th hatchery going down at the top of the map, and Thoth is in quite a lot of trouble. Colossus not even going to finish off there. They're going to get power blocked, and it looks like the lights are out, and Thoth is no longer home. GG well played from Thoth. Not too bad of a start, sort of a little bit of an interesting play from him, but I mean, he did his best and that's all you can ask for. He took down one game, took out the first opponent in a TVT, and obviously that means we will see QED go to a score of 1 for them as well, so we are sitting at a 1-1 at the moment in a draw between these two teams.